Hi, my name is Lillian Luechauer, and I'm going to be presenting on the West Nile virus and how climate change affects the transmission of the West Nile virus. So, the West Nile virus, what is the West Nile virus and how does it spread? The West Nile virus is a mosquito-borne virus that can cause neurological disease in humans. The primary vector or mode of transmission for the West Nile virus is the Culex mosquito. So when mosquitoes eat birds that are infected with the West Nile virus, they can become carriers of the virus, and humans and other animals, including horses, can be infected through mosquito bites. Once the West Nile virus gets to humans, it's not transmitted like person to person or through direct contact with infected birds or animals. It can only be transmitted through mosquitoes and their bites, so a human could not give another human the West Nile virus. It's only transmitted through mosquitoes. And on the right-hand side, there's a little graphic showing that cycle of how the disease is spread. So the West Nile virus was first identified in Uganda in 1937, and since then it's spread all over the world. You can look at the map on the right, which it's basically in every country but like Russia, China, Greenland. And so it's spread to Africa, Europe, Middle East, Asia, North America, basically all over the world, which is kind of scary, but the symptoms and statistics, so 1 in 5 infected people have mild symptoms of the disease, and 1 in 150 people have fatal symptoms of the disease, according to the CDC in 2024. Around 70 to 80% of people that are infected with the West Nile virus don't show any symptoms, so they're asymptomatic. And for the 20 to 30% of people who do show symptoms, the symptoms will usually appear in 3 to 14 days after the bite, which we can see a similarity with COVID. We would typically get infected after we had transmission, 3 to 14 days. So, and the symptoms of the disease include abdominal pain, fever, headache, sore throat, lack of appetite, muscle aches, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, rash, swollen lymph nodes. And this is in the milder cases of West Nile virus, so kind of just like a flu. And then in the more severe cases, which is 1 in every 150 cases of the West Nile virus, it can lead to severe neurological disease such as meningitis or encephalitis, which are diseases of the brain, like infections of the brain. And symptoms of these serious conditions include high fever, severe headache, stiff neck, confusion, seizures, paralysis, and tremors. And these cases are more common in older adults and people with weakened immune systems. And this leads to my next slide, but there's no vaccines or treatments for this disease, so we need to prevent it. And in order to prevent the spread of the West Nile virus, we need to reduce mosquito exposure. And some ways people can do this is by using an insect repellent called DEET, which is like bug spray, or it's in most bug sprays. And if we're like going outside doing any outdoor activities, we can wear long sleeves and long pants, and especially avoiding outdoor activities during dusk and dawn, which are prime mosquito breeding times. And it's also important to eliminate standing water where mosquitoes breed, such as you can see the picture, bird baths, buckets, clogged gutters, stuff like that, where there's a lot of mosquitoes that can easily spread the disease. And we can also, another bad thing is being outside with mosquitoes during dusk and dawn, which is what that picture shows, and then the good pictures are DEET and long sleeves, long pants. Because the best and only way to truly prevent this disease is to not get bit by mosquitoes, and because there's no vaccine, no treatments for the disease. And climate change plays a role in the spread of the West Nile virus, as well as global warming and temperature changes, because the warmer temperatures can enhance the breeding and survival rates of mosquitoes, as well as speed up the virus's replication within the mosquito. So there's more viruses to go around, and it increases the likelihood of transmission to humans when there's more viruses. So not only do the temperatures themselves affect the spread of the virus, but the milder winters and longer summers create a drawn-out mosquito season, which increases the risk of getting West Nile virus. And It could potentially lead to more human cases as the virus spreads to new areas where it was previously uncommon. In 2022, there were 1,132 West Nile virus cases reported from 358 countries and 42 states, and then 966 of them, which was 85% of the patients, had illness onset during July through September, which means that this was the long, drawn-out summer that we're talking about. And the graphics on the right, the top one is just a political cartoon that I thought was kind of funny because the mosquitoes almost having power over the people, saying that climate change and global warming are fake because there's a lot more virus and like it's more likely because of climate change for people to get the West Nile virus and other mosquito-borne illnesses. And then the bottom graphic is showing the relationship between warmer temperatures to the spread of the West Nile virus, which is pretty interesting and shows that there's data to back up this idea of climate change. So this was my presentation on the West Nile virus and climate change and the effects of climate change on the West Nile virus spread. And here are my citations for this presentation. They were all really helpful, and Center for Disease Control I used that one a lot. And then a few other research journals were also helpful.